Today we got this fun little blazer on, so you know I'm not playing around. I'm going to sit down and do a quick video on resumes. And this used to be a topic that intimidated the crap out of me. I used to be so stressed over it and it scared me, right? I honestly didn't know where to begin. I had to apply to internships and jobs, and all of which they always ask for a resume. So it was always, how do I really demonstrate who I am, my experiences, my skills, and show that eagerness to really jump on in, hit the ground running, and learn, right? So I am going to touch on 3 things that we can pay attention to really spruce up that resume in this video, and stay tuned for part 2 coming out next week. First point is going to be about tailoring your resume. Right? And what this means is really targeting your audience. No matter where you go, no matter who you work for, anything that you do, you need to really know who your audience is and really be able to change and adapt your resume to that person or to that situation. I'm really talking about an approach where you compare your resume alongside the job description, the job that you really want, right? And see what is the company's vision, their mission, what are words that are constantly used throughout that job description, and how can you pull those words and incorporate them and show that you have the skills and you have the background to really do a great job at that job, right? So being able to maybe visit the company's social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any sort of news article that came out, PR posts, and just really get to know the company. I think that's the first important thing that we need to do, right? In order to know and assess the fit between you and the company and the role and your value add, it's important to do that. And by doing this, it's going to really allow you to see if this is a company that you will find yourself to be challenged in the best way possible, and if it's a company that will enable you to grow. A good measure of seeing whether or not you've done a great job at tailoring your resume is maybe by asking a friend, a sibling, or a mentor, anyone that you really trust and confide in, to take a look at your resume and see if they can articulate why you are interested in that role or position, that job. And if they can, then wonderful, but if they can't and they're a little bit more hesitant and iffy, then I think it would be time to kind of revisit that resume and see what further tailoring you can do. Second thing is to please highlight or really show your accomplishments rather than rewriting a job description, right? A lot of people, myself included, when I was early in my career, when I first graduated college, we have the tendency to really pull from the responsibilities of a previous job description instead of really reflecting on what impact we've made while we were in that position. You really want to show a recruiter or a company how you can be useful and create that value. So avoiding using responsible for managing social media platforms. Instead of saying that, for an example, you can say that you tweet 3 to 5 tweets daily and manage that platform of 5,000 plus followers. That's a lot more specific than manage social media platforms. That doesn't really give us insight into what platforms you're managing, what the kind of scale is, but the example that I just gave is a lot more meaty. Now this leads me to my third and last point for this video, which is to quantify accomplishments as much as you can, wherever you can, and it's always possible. I took a look at my old resumes, and I've also seen a lot of candidate resumes who are very guilty of this one thing. We tend to pluralize accomplishments. So for example, on a resume, in my first job out of college, I used to create, edit, and send out weekly MBA newsletters to over 800 students on a weekly basis, right? But let's say someone might be inclined to write on their resume, create, edit, and send out newsletters. But that really doesn't give us context, again, on what the impact is. What does the newsletters consist of? How often are they sent out and edited and created? How many people are being sent that newsletter? So being able to say something like, I created, I edited, and I sent out newsletters to 850 plus students on a weekly basis, that gives you a lot more insight. So the more we are able to really talk on the time, the amount of money saved for a company, efficiencies improved, everything like that, the better. The better that we are able to really communicate and showcase our success and potential to a prospective employer. Doing this also makes us realize that we are a lot more talented than we often give ourselves credit for, and we get to reflect on all the great things that we can offer our prospective employer. Hope this gets you started on your resume writing or resume editing process, and wishing you the best of luck. But in the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any sort of questions, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'm happy to get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope you stay tuned for next week's video. We'll have a resumes part 2. So yeah, thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great week ahead.